Hello, everyone. Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, Justice with Jax, and MAM Gossip. We are live today to talk about the rally we have coming up at the last Saturday of July. What is the date of that? Let me pull it up because, again, really bad at remembering numbers. I don't know if it's the 30. Is it the 30th? Let's go, computer, go faster. 31st. We have a Facebook event for it that is made on the Stephen Avery Project public page. Let me get the link. I can post that. See, since I've got my actual computer and two screens, I can multitask and give you that link. Hopefully it works. Right now I just see a big gobbledygook there when I got the link. It's so weird where it's asking me for moderation. Followers. Okay. Sorry as I keep getting distracted since I just got this computer back on Monday. So still trying to figure out how to work the lives back on this computer as opposed to my iPad. So we have a block of rooms that are reserved at a hotel in the area of the prison. But we're not releasing where that is publicly because we do have friends of the family who just try to sabotage anything that we do, and so they reach out to all the local establishments and tell them lies about what it is that we do. Good evening, Natalie. And tell them not to work with us. So if you are interested in booking the hotel, you need to message myself or Christopher and we'll send you the information. That's something though too, so now when I tell people to do that, since Carla watches this and has friends that are in here and such, how do I know that the person who reaches out to us isn't one of them anyway? So, I don't know. At this point, as I'm thinking this out loud with you all, going, why shouldn't I just release it? And if they sabotage it, they sabotage it. I mean, there's only so much we can do. And if these people are going to be so set on trying to ruin something, I mean, why let that make things more difficult for us with this? I'm not sure if this person who messages me is not going to be a crazy nut job because, I don't know who that person is. So maybe we should just post in the event that I posted the link, but I see it's not showing it as a clickable. Is it clickable? Oh, it is a clickable link. Okay. So maybe we should just put the information in there and not hide it and just let what happens, right? And this hotel they're only reserving this block of rooms for a short period of time. And Christopher also had to set it up with not saying that this is for a Stephen Avery rally or Stephen Avery project, because he was trying to disguise it, since he encountered a whole lot of people who had heard about us prior to him even reaching out to them. So there's we have to let you know how you can reserve that. Let me talk to Christopher about that off of here, and we'll come to a decision today. But just because we have that hotel reserved, I shouldn't say reserved, because like I said, they're only holding the block of rooms for a short window of time. So it's not reserved. They're going to let it go at some point. You do not have to stay at that hotel in order to be part of this rally. You can find anything in the area if you're going to stay the night or the whole weekend. I'm booked at a place for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, but you can just search the area yourself, find a hotel or an Airbnb or Expedia, or, however you typically book your vacations, and find something that works for you. We will be doing, besides the rally itself, we will be getting together for a happy hour. And that will be at the cottage that Jeff rented for me, that is on a lake, where, it's just a tiny cottage, nothing spectacular looking about the cottage, but it seems to be in this gorgeous area on this lake, and it's got a fire pit, and I thought that would be a cool spot that we could all gather for the happy hour that we also do a Facebook Live at. So that's also why it's not as big a deal for what hotel or accommodations that you stay at, because it's not like a one size fits all. Like last year, I booked a hotel for us to stay at, and everything we did was kind of at that hotel, because I made sure the hotel had a restaurant in it, and we met for meals there, and then we met for a happy hour. So we were all in the same spot. But since I've got this cottage now that, we're not all going to be together in one spot. So do what fits your budget and what because I'm like, think of it as a little vacation, because it's also not cheap. Even the place that Christopher reserved is, I think it was like $116 a night. And when I was looking at places there, that a lot of them are a lot more than that. So where the hotel is that is reserved from Waupun is about a 20-minute drive from the prison. And then my cottage is about 20 minutes from that hotel, but it's like a triangle. So because the prison is still 20 minutes from my hotel, so this is the hotel and this is me, 20 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes to go from one to the other. So it's not a far drive to get from place to place. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to have some fun. And I've had a slight wrinkle that developed today. The Foo Fighters are my favorite band, and I have seen them. I don't even know how many times I've seen them. But it was announced today that the Foo Fighters are going to play Lollapalooza. I am here in Chicago. I saw Foo Fighters when they played Lollapalooza the last time 10 years ago. So I really want to go see Foo Fighters at Lollapalooza, which is the same weekend as the rally. But we don't know yet on which day Foo Fighters are playing Lollapalooza. So I am hoping at this point that they're going to be playing either Thursday night or Sunday night, basically any night other than Saturday. I can make it work with the rally. So, yeah. So that's some fun there. Sorry. I love me some Foo Fighters, right? Shirts. Now, we just did a live the other day, Monday, right? Where I talked all about the rally, and then I talked about shirts as well. And I've been thinking about it some more too. And the problem that I've always had when I do shirts is I'm always accused of stealing the money and blah, blah, blah. But then I've also said, on the other hand, no matter what it is that I do with this case, I'm always accused of something nefarious, right? And so last year for the rally, I had made a rally mask that people were able to buy. And then we also had 3 different shirts. One was for Stephen Avery Project, one was for MAM Gossip, and one was for Justice with Jax. And I don't recall, I didn't keep track of how much I sold of any of this stuff. But then I donated $100 into Stephen's commissary and $100 into Brendan's commissary. Neither Stephen nor Brendan have acknowledged that the money was put there, but that's fine, whatever. I didn't expect them to, was still just trying to go above and beyond, and put it in there. But since they don't acknowledge it and don't know what's going on for sure with that, I was thinking that if we sell the shirts again this year, and I do have 28 masks that are still left here as well from last year, but the masks have the date of last year's rally on them. And then, let's see, have the date and time from last year. But there's 28 of them. So I've said with what masks I have left, I will just give them to anybody who has reserved or pays for a hotel for this rally while it lasts. It'll be first come, first serve or whatever on these masks. Okay. Then on the shirts. All right, there's the 3 shirts. Justice with Jax. And what that is and what it says underneath is Vagina Bat does what Vagina Bat wants. And so the significance of a Vagina Bat is I am an advocate on many different social causes. And something I do at a protest is I wear these hot pink wings that are, 6 feet one way, 6 feet the other way, so I can stand in front of somebody's sign and block it. And so I have a group that's called Pink Angels, so they're wings. And Carla and her friends like to make fun of that And so they've called it vagina bat, which I thought was hysterical. And I totally own the whole vagina bat thing. So that's how thought it would be funny that my shirts have a vagina bat on it. So that was the Justice with Jax. MAM gossip was okay, and then it says on the bottom. Sorry, I'm like trying to do this and can't see where I'm going here. There it is. Okay, so that is in the orange and green, which were Brendan's our favorite colors, are orange and green. The dragonfly is the dragonfly we originally had for Brendan's logo that I have tattooed on my leg, actually. And then somebody, I can't remember who it is the one that came up with guessing is not confessing, which I just thought was brilliant. So that's the vagina, or the MAM gossip shirt. Then there's the Stephen Avery shirt. So it says free Stephen Avery. Never give up is what Stephen likes as like his hashtag. And then it's got the Firebird symbol that Jeff used because it's for Stephen's love of cars, and the Firebird rises from the ashes. And Stephen's favorite color is black, so that's why it's just done in the Firebird colors. So I was thinking what we would do with shirts for this rally is that any profit from the shirts would go into paying for a meal for the people who come to the rally. So whether it's when we get together for dinner at some point or a breakfast, that all the money made from that will go back into the people who come to the rally. I figure that's the fairest way to do it. So I haven't talked yet with Jeff on it, so I can't tell you pricing. I can't remember what they were priced at last year. I want to say $25 because that's what typical shirts go for. That's $25 is how you're able to cover the cost of the shirt and there to still be a profit. And I believe the $25 also covered, I want to say it covered local shipping here in the States. It does not cover international shipping. That's always a nightmare that it costs so many different amounts to ship it abroad. I think last year we had a add such and such for if it was being shipped out of the States. And then also I think it was an extra $1 for, so it was like $25 from small to extra large, and then if you're getting a 2X it's another $1, 3X $2, and so on, because the shirts themselves, the bigger the shirt the more it costs. I don't know what that is. Sorry. But I need to talk to Jeff and get that figured out. So, and if anybody has any suggestions on that, let me know on what to do with the shirts, what you think about it, if there's any interest. It's hard for, there's not only person I have seen comment is Natalie at this point. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions, comments, or concerns. So, and since there, because a lot of times when we go live, there's a whole bunch of comments on here. And since there's not, I'm like, okay, are people seeing this? This is, trying to figure this all out as I go, since I'm not on the iPad. Sorry, because when you go live on my computer here, it's a whole different setup than iPad. You just click go live and you don't see any of this metrics and all this other stuff that's in here. So, but I'm not going to stay on here and keep talking if there's nobody here with any questions. Hello, Jane. With any questions or ideas. So, because that's what we were going to talk about today, was just the rally. What is Bryce sending me? Bryce is trying to comment and it's showing on his thing, but I don't see them. Why? This is so dumb. Comments will only be able to comment every 10 seconds. Only comments over 100 characters will be shown. Commenters must have accounts that are at least 2 weeks old. Bryce, do you follow? Have you clicked follow MAM Gossip? Because that's what this is saying. Only your followers will be able to leave comments. So maybe it's not just the group. So when you're... Okay, he doesn't know why. Hold on, trying to troubleshoot this. Let me go into MAM Gossip on my other screen over here. Yeah, I don't know why. It's so frustrating, Bryce. And yeah, I don't know if there's... I know the Debbies have talked about here in Gossip they haven't been able to comment, and didn't know if before that had all changed because I was on my iPad as opposed to on my laptop up here, but now I'm on my laptop and you still can't comment. That is really frustrating. Natalie says, I can comment using my laptop, but it won't let me comment using my tablet. But I can comment in other groups using my tablet. Bryce just sent me another picture showing that he is following MAM Gossip and he still can't comment. Oh, Facebook. I don't get it at all. Let me see. Oh, look at this. When I go on my other screen into MAM Gossip where the video is, I can see that Nana has commented, Haley has commented, and Bryce, I see you as well saying I've tried commenting. So I can see you over here, but I can't see you in the page that I'm actually live from. How stupid is that? Because I see Haley saying I've tried to comment, but it just keeps saying error. So I could see you here. Up there, it popped up over here. And now here's Nana over here too. All of a sudden popped up over here. That wasn't there just a second ago. Nana says, I'm on a laptop, can see you, hear you, and see all the comments just like before. Well, thank Jeebus for that, Nana. So there's one person that... This is crazy. And then what is this? Has anybody ever done the Facebook rooms? So over on the right, it says rooms are a way for you to video chat with your group. Whenever the group admins create a room, it'll appear here. But now, is that something that would only appear if you're on a browser as opposed to the Facebook app? I don't know. So maybe need to play with that one day and see what happens in a Facebook room. I don't know. So weird. And what is this? Oh, see, when I've been using my iPad and such, I don't see these badges on people's comments on the page. And so this person's got this badge that says valued responder. I don't know anything about it. Okay. Yeah, Jane, I think when I end this, I haven't showered yet today. I have to take a shower and go run an errand. But I think before I do that, when I end this, I'm going to click on the room and see what happens. See if I can figure out where to do this room thing, just because I'm curious what will happen with it. I don't think an event has been made for it yet, but the next live should be on Monday. I was thinking of going live Monday and Wednesday next week. It would be in here in Gossip, which is really annoying me that everybody who wants to comment hasn't been able to, but we'll read Wrecking Crew. So it would be same time that, I start all of them at 1 o'clock, and it would last 2 hours each time. And so Monday and Wednesday next week would be Wrecking Crew. Gosh, there was something else I just thought about. Oh, for the rally, I was thinking of pushing back I was talking before about doing the rally at like noon or something like that. But then when I was talking on Monday and I had pulled out the mask has the date of last year's rally was 2 o'clock. I don't know if you can even see that. So I'm thinking maybe we should have the rally still at 2, because I'm thinking about when I do these lives, that's the whole point of doing it at 1 o'clock, because trying to find the best time that fits all the other time zones to be able to be live if they choose. So I'm thinking, that we do the rally then at Waupun at 2 o'clock. And so that gives people the opportunity to do whatever they want in the morning, or if it's people who are not staying there Friday night and are driving up on Saturday, it gives them time to get there. And so then we have the rally at 2 o'clock. And then the rally only lasts an hour to 90 minutes. And then people can be on their own, and we can either all meet for dinner, or I was thinking since we would be doing the happy hour at my place, then maybe it would be something like the money that is made off of the shirts or masks goes towards ordering a bunch of pizzas and stuff at the cottage during our happy hour. And that the happy hour then, and this is something that then doesn't work out for the other time zones, but you're able to watch the rally earlier in the day, but then the happy hour would be like at 7 p.m. But since it's a Saturday, that maybe you could stay up later that day. So it would be 7 p.m. Central Chicago time, whatever. So it's 1:30 right now. So, think. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is the rally would be at 2. And then happy hour at my place. Well, actually we would have like the start time for people to get to my place at 7. And then we would hang out and chat for a bit. And so maybe the actual live video wouldn't start until 8. Tamika asking to go over. So I talked about the hotel and that we do have Carla's minions, hi Carla, who tried to sabotage whatever hotel we tried to book at. So we've been keeping that under wraps on where that is. And I've told people to reach out to myself or Christopher to get the information. But then when I'm thinking more about it, it's just like, how much effort do we have to go through to just try and do this? It shouldn't have to be this hard. They have their dumb rally that they're going to a Holiday Inn, and I'm not trying to do anything to their dumb rally because I don't care. Do your dumb rally, your family supporter rally. Because I don't know how their rally is in support of Stephen and Brendan when they're filing harassment charges against Stephen, and Carla saying they're gonna take Dolores and put her someplace and not tell Stephen where she is. So yeah, why don't you go to that rally? So do what you want. But I want to discuss with Christopher before we say publicly where it is. But I've said that people don't have to stay at the hotel that we've reserved. People can stay, wherever you want there, because I'm looking at it as a little mini vacation. So, and that's why I found this cottage on a lake and thought this would be a cute little place to stay for the weekend. So maybe you yourself don't want to stay in just a regular hotel. And there's also a really cute bed and breakfast that's in the area, and maybe that's something that's more to your liking. So since we would be doing the happy hour back at my place anyway, it's not like everything's all at the hotel, so it makes it so much easier that we're all at the same place. So, but if you want the information on this hotel, let us know. Ugh, Bryce is still having trouble that he can't comment. But let me see. Okay, Tamika messaged me on Stephen Avery Project. Can you message me after live, please? Okay, Tamika. Yeah, a lot of times, just so people know, anybody who I have as a moderator for Stephen Avery Project or Justice with Jax, they have the power to look at anytime somebody messages those pages. And Christopher is the one who mostly answers anybody's messages. The other moderators here who have been with me the entire time that I've had Stephen Avery Project, and one of them was here before I even was. They were a moderator of Stephen Avery Project before I took it over. So, but they're not really active very much as much in moderating. It's Christopher who's doing the bulk of the work. And when you see a post is made and it says Stephen Avery Project, it's not necessarily me. Any moderator can post as Stephen Avery Project. So that's why there'll be times that I'll post something and I'll say this is Jax, because I just want to make sure people know this is, you know, especially when it's I'm giving somebody a warning on their behavior or whatever. I want to make sure people know it is me that is saying it. So yeah, so when you message Stephen Avery Project, I might not necessarily get that. So because it's Christopher who looks at those messages, except more than any of the other moderators here. So the quickest way to, if you're trying to get me specifically, is to message me, Jax West. Sometimes that takes a little longer to get to me, because if you're somebody I am not Facebook friends with, that it will go into your message requests, that I might not see a notification of that. You know, I try to pay attention to that and look to see if I have a message request. But so just so you know, and then there's always our email too, that is official Stephen Avery Project at gmail.com. I'm the only one that gets those emails. So if you've tried to reach out to me and you haven't gotten anywhere, then you can send that email, and that does come to me. So if you don't hear from me from email, that's 100% my fault. So let me know. Something I saw, because this room that I'm in is where this, even though this is our spare bedroom, this is where I keep my stuff, you know, that it's like my office. And I know I went through in a live a couple weeks ago some of the stuff I have surrounding the case, but I found this which is a letter I got from Stephen. It's nothing exciting. It's dated March 31st, 2019, and says, "Hello, Jax. To my supporters, I'm doing good right now, and soon I will get a new trial so I can be happy again. Love, Stephen Avery." Let me try and turn it so you can see it. And because he, you know, I'd always told him if there was anything he wanted me to give to the supporters, specifically from him, and in that letter had been this picture. Let me try and turn it. Where can you see? He wrote, "Love, my supporters." So just wanted to send that to you. Oh, and this was there too. This is when I went to a Shrang Buting thing here in Chicago, and Buting had given me tickets where he had me sit. I sat right next to his wife, and then for me to come backstage. So that was with that paperwork. All right, then I guess I'm going to go for today. If you have any thoughts or ideas about the rally, you can, let us know. It, always up for any ideas people have to make it an interesting rally. If you didn't catch this from the start, go back and replay it, because I talked about shirts and all this other stuff about the rally. Also, at the beginning of the comments, I posted the link to the event. I always advise people to click at least interested on an event, because then that way Facebook is going to notify you on things. So you can remember a date. You'll get notified if anything gets posted in the event, so if something we plan or whatever that we put in there, as well as maybe we'll be posting in the event the hotel information if you want to reserve at the hotel. I know poor Bryce, who Facebook won't allow him to comment on this live. Bryce has reserved his room. So if you want to meet Bryce and hang out with the elusive Bryce, come to the rally. Next live will be Monday, 1 p.m., where we're going to start reading Wrecking Crew. And I still need to talk with Christopher about, since I've got 3 copies of Wrecking Crew just sitting here that are autographed by John Ferrick, that we can come up with some way to, maybe you can win it, or maybe we do it so people who, that one of them, somebody at the rally, can win, and one for somebody who's not able to attend the rally can win. Don't know. Haven't figured anything out. So, well, Tamika says she's definitely booking the hotel. So, great. And I'm kind of... Oh, something else I want to mention. It's not about the rally, but since we're live, I, you know how I go off topic all the time. Melissa Kaluzinski, for those that don't know, is another client of Kathleen Zellner's. She is somebody that I advocate for. She is the only wrongfully accused that I have advocated for, that I have never had any issues with her. And she is such a sweet girl. And I email with her all the time, multiple times a week right now since we've been in COVID, that I can no longer visit. Oh, that reminds me, she asked me to call the prison today, so I have to do that too. So I'm writing that down right now. So when I'm done here, I call the prison for her. So Melissa is an artist, and she's pretty good. I've posted before some of the things she's drawn, and I always try to encourage her to draw. So like, I've bought her paper and stuff before, trying to get her, because I just figure, or hoping it's something to take her mind off of things if she, just totally delves into drawing. And one of her favorite things and favorite things to draw are butterflies, which, if you've ever looked at my arms, I've got butterflies tattooed on me. Butterfly. Which one? Where is it? I don't know if you can see because it's yellow. Butterfly. I don't even know where they all are. So my arms are pretty well covered, but on this arm, I've got this space is still open here. And so I told her like 2, 3 years ago, if she was to draw me a butterfly, I would tattoo it in here. Because all the things on my tattooed on my arms, well, almost all of my tattoos represent somebody I know. And on my arms, it is flowers represent females and bugs represent males. But Melissa, being somebody who loves butterflies, it's like, yeah. And so the email I got from her yesterday, she said, because I had sent her a while ago, because I always send her books on things for her to draw. And so I had sent her at some point a book on all these different butterflies. And so she told me she found a butterfly. It's white, which you can't tattoo white. White doesn't work. But it's a white butterfly, and it also has her name in it. And so she says she wants to draw that and send it to me in a card. And so whenever I get that, I will show you the picture, but I will get it tattooed here for Melissa. She's a sweet girl. Kaluzinski, Melissa Kaluzinski. If you've never looked into that case, you should. I guess one more thing since going off topic here. Another case that I used to advocate for, Marnie Yang. Marnie Yang's case is in the news, at least here in Illinois, because the case happened here in Illinois. Really cool news. Marnie Yang is 100% innocent. It doesn't matter to me that the person who is like her lead advocate, she and I had a personal beef, and she removed me from advocating for Marnie. And I have no idea what she has said to Marnie about me, but I hadn't heard from Marnie. And plus we're in the pandemic, so there were no visits, because Melissa and Marnie are in the same prison, so I would go and visit both of them. I would say a couple hours with one and then a couple hours with the other. And Marnie actually did, like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, out of the blue, emailed me. But she emailed me something specific. I emailed her back a response, and I haven't heard anything since then. But anyway, but just like Steven, just because somebody associated with the wrongfully accused, or the wrongfully accused themselves, has a beef with me for whatever reason, it doesn't mean my opinion changes or my support changes for them to be released. Facts are facts, and she absolutely is innocent. The thing that just came out yesterday was they got the famed, I don't know, is he a coroner? Cyril Wecht. I've seen him on so many cases. He's a famous go-to person. Nicole Brown Simpson, John Benet Ramsey. He has done John F. Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King. So this is the guy. And so this woman who was murdered had bruising on her face. And so Dr. Wecht has looked at the autopsy photos and said those bruises were made 2 days, at least 2 days before her murder. And the big thing to know on that is this victim, Ronnie Ryder, was pregnant. And the state, and now Marnie and Melissa's cases are both from Lake County, Illinois, and are involving the same corrupt Lake County Major Crimes Task Force. There's the same coroner, same, so many of the same corrupt people are involved in both of these cases. So they claimed that the bruising on Ronnie's face came to her falling to the ground when she was shot. But now when you have Dr. Wecht saying, no, those bruises, you don't get shot and fall down and you all of a sudden have bruises on your face that are there immediately. It takes at least 2 days. Okay? So somebody beat up this pregnant woman 2 days prior before she was murdered. All right? She was shot. Her boyfriend at the time, scumbag Sean Gale, obviously, since she's shot, you need to test his hands for gunshot residue. On the paperwork for when they tested Sean's hands, it is noted that he had cuts and scabs on his hands. Yes, once upon a time, he was a big famous football player for the Chicago Bears, our Super Bowl Bears, the Super Bowl shuffling down, doing it for you. He was not currently playing football at that time, so he can't say that he had these marks on his hands from playing football. And according to Dr. Wecht, these scabs would take 2 days to form. When Sean Gale was asked the last time he saw his girlfriend Ronnie Ryder, it was 2 days prior. So the bruising occurred 2 days prior. Sean's got scabs on his hands that take 2 days to form. And he says he last saw her 2 days prior. And how could this woman get beat up so badly? I can't remember, because again, it's a number, and I'm not joking when my brain has this thing that I can't remember numbers. And I really do believe that I have like early onset dementia. My brain is whatever. And hi all the haters who will take that and run with it. But she was like 7 months pregnant. I mean, 8 months pregnant. She's really pregnant, and somebody is beating her enough to where her face is all bruised. And she was supposed to go to work. She worked at a Macy's at, a counter, and she didn't go to work. So who would beat her up that she's not reporting it to the police? Except her boyfriend, Sean Gale. They had been dating for 15-something, a long time. And Sean had 16 other girlfriends at this time. He was not monogamous. He and Ronnie did not live together. He did not want Ronnie living with him. He did not want children. He was a player, a football player and a player. I don't want to keep diving into this case right now, since that's not what this live was for, but it is yet another thing to show Marnie's innocence that Dr. Cyril Wecht just, or that this just went public. And I actually talked to somebody yesterday that is part of Marnie's team, because I've only got ill feelings towards the one person. I have no problems with anybody else. So I actually texted them yesterday when I saw it in our local news here and said, congratulations on getting Dr. Wecht and all the press that's now coming from it. And so then they called me and told me about it. And so this is fabulous for Marnie, and hoping that this will help to get Marnie a new trial or release. And something else that benefits both Marnie and Melissa is there is a new state's attorney in Lake County that was elected in just this past election. Because prior to that, it had been the corrupt guy that was there that was refusing to look at these cases. Marnie Yang's case, she does not have Kathleen Zellner. She has Jed Stone, who, while he has not, he's freed about half what Kathleen Zellner has of the wrongfully convicted. I believe Jed has freed 10 people, while Kathleen's number is 20. So, but that's still, he's freed 10 people, and he's a really cool guy. I really like, I get along great with Jed. So, but I do know that the new state's attorney in Lake County, who's somebody that I'm Facebook friends with him, and he requested me, has had meetings on both Marnie's and Melissa's cases. So he is seriously looking at all of this evidence. So these two girls, for the first time and they've both been in prison like between 12 and 14 years, I believe, both of them. So this is like the first time in a long time that they have something really to, kind of be positive on, that maybe this state's attorney is, at the very least, give them a new trial and look at this evidence. Because in both Melissa's case and in Marnie's case, there's so much to show that they are innocent. And let me tell you too, on Marnie's case, let me find my picture of me and Marnie. Marnie is a wee little lass. Teeny tiny little thing. The woman, Ronnie Ryder, who was shot, it's numbers. I can't remember how tall Ronnie was, but taller than me. I'm 5'7". Marnie is like 5 feet tall. All right. So here's a picture of me standing next to Marnie. Look at the difference in height there. Okay. That's a huge difference, right? Marnie is teeny, teeny, tiny. And the victim, Ronnie, was the shot went into her arm and down. There's no way a woman this tall, okay, so me, who's not as tall as the victim, there's no way she's going to be able to shoot me up here and it come out down here. Look at where her arms are. Look at where I am here. There is no way possible. This was the biggest thing. When I had first got involved in this case, I sat in at Jed's office with a round table of all the experts on the case who were then presenting the evidence, the things that they had uncovered. And so the ballistics people had an actual dummy and, the big wooden pointer stick that was showing the trajectory of bullets, so this one went in here and all that. And that was the biggest thing that I came away with, that I was like, no way. Can somebody that height and I want to say Ronnie was like, God, 5'10"? I mean, considerably taller than I am. So there's no way Marnie could shoot me with that trajectory. And I have another picture. I don't have the actual picture. It's a picture that's on my phone. But Marnie's daughter is 1 inch taller than Marnie. But I had her daughter stand next to me and put her hands out like a gun and point at me to show there's no possible way that a bullet could be that trajectory into me. So that's just one of the things, science, believe in science, to show that Marnie Yang is innocent. Marnie Yang wrongfully confessed. Forced into a false confession. Melissa Kalyazinski forced into a false confession. Melissa has a lower IQ. Marnie is brilliant. And I'm not saying brilliant like, oh, she could mastermind this murder. She's a really smart, intelligent woman. Yet she confessed to a crime she didn't commit, both at the police station as well as they used a friend of hers to go undercover and be wired and got Marnie into saying all and the stuff that Marnie even says in the doesn't match the evidence, doesn't match the science. So that's why it's such a big deal with these wrongful confessions. You know, when you look at Brendan Dassey, it's like, oh yeah, you can totally see how that kid could be tricked into it. But it's important for you to know that you could be tricked into it. You could. You're going to say you couldn't. There's no way you could. You're not saying you did something you didn't do. You don't know. Marnie, her reasons for it is they were going after her 16-year-old son. And this was over a year that they had been following her kids, harassing her family, tapping her phone. And at one point, her son had a mental breakdown and had to go to a hospital and stay there. And so now she's being told by the friend who was wired and got her to do this false confession on tape, the friend is saying that they're going to charge her son. So what did Marnie do? She confesses and says she did it so they would leave her son alone. Marnie's dad has, at that time, had money, was a wealthy man, and she felt that I'm going to do this to protect and save my son, and I didn't do anything, so there's no evidence that I did, so I'm just going to say this, and the lawyers will sort it out. Because, there's no way I could be found guilty because I wasn't there. So there's no way possible I could get prosecuted for this. So they stop harassing my son, who already had a mental breakdown and is only 16 years old. I'll say I did it. So you've got the total switch between what Barb did with Brendan by just letting that lamb go to the slaughter. Marnie went forward and said, "Take me, not my boy." So that was in the news yesterday. I have those articles on that are posted on the Justice with Jax page. Any other cases, I post the stuff in Justice with Jax. So if you want to keep up on that stuff. There are some things you can watch on the Marnie Yang case, but Marnie's case has never been told correctly. So, which really makes me think twice when you watch 2020 and all of that, because actually 2020 was the last one that covered Marnie's case, and it's not good. You know, everything is shot from claiming that Marnie is guilty. It really pushes you to think that Marnie is guilty. So if you were to seek out stuff on the Marnie Yang case and you have questions on it, you know, go ahead and post over at Justice with Jax. And I know this evidence. I was part of that case for a couple of years before COVID a year ago, and the girl, like I said, running the case went a little off the rails. But I can tell you why the evidence they put out there that makes it look like Marnie is guilty is not the case. And I just ask you to look at it, you know, keep an open mind on it, because look at Stephen and Brendan. You know, if you only went by what Kratz put out there in his press conference, it's, oh my God, he's guilty. So when you see things on Marnie's case or Melissa Kaluzinski's case, might make you go, oh, they're guilty. Post on Justice with Jax and tell me why it is you think they're guilty. What evidence makes you think they're guilty? And I will tell you why that's not correct and give you the actual science and facts around that. Okay, yeah, I totally went off in a totally different direction when this whole video is just supposed to be about the rally. But all right, I'm going to go, because also now I'm distracted by, I told Melissa in an email that I would call the prison for her. She needed me to find some stuff out for her, and she needs me to then call her dad and let her dad know. So I need to do that. So I'm going to do that now. Then I will take my shower and go run my errands. Thank you, everybody who joined me today, whether it's live or those of you who are going to be watching this replay. Hope you're able to join us at the rally on Saturday, July 31st at Waupun Correctional in Wisconsin. We'll be live on Monday to start reading Wrecking Crew. All you investigators, junior investigators, start searching why Facebook doesn't allow everybody to comment on Facebook Lives. And maybe we can get this fixed by Monday. So, all right, I'm out. Investigation continues. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to you before that. Bye.